Well, hey there once again, Wildcats. It's Brad back at you with another LC Coaches Show. We got men's soccer coach Claudy St. Louis joining us for, sadly, the final time this year. Yes, tear. As we kind of wrap up the season, wrap up the last couple of matches, and kind of look ahead to what Claudy has planned for the off season and stuff. And according to what I've heard from some of the players, they've already started working, so that's already a good sign, right? Yep. But let's talk about the matches last week. You got Ozarks and you got Tyler. I guess tell me your thoughts on it. I mean, it's a couple of tough ones there. As a 2-0, 1-0 matches there. So, kind of tell me what you thought about it.
In terms of the Ozarks match, obviously I thought that was one that we probably should have had. One that I thought we outplayed Ozarks, to be honest. Obviously, from the stat sheet, we had more shots on goals. It was just one of those issues where they just got the ball in the net and we didn't. Kind of the story of our season, realistically. So that was one that got away. Tyler, obviously, they're a very good team. Actually, I think that's probably the best team we've played in the conference. I also felt slightly that our guys had turned off, just given the situation, the circumstances, almost nothing to play for. And I told them at the end of the game, they're lucky to not have lost that game, probably 9-0. Nathan played out of this world and just made phenomenal saves and kept us and made the scoreline seem respectable. But otherwise, that game was a game that Tyler should have won by a lot.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting because you like you mentioned the Ozarks match. I mean, you had tons of opportunities, and like you said, just for whatever reason, couldn't find the net, couldn't find the, get it past the keeper, and it's just a microcosm of the season, really.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, I think that's something we're going to work on a lot this offseason is finishing. I think we've created opportunities, and not just in that game, but previous matches, but we just, for whatever reason, could not put the ball in the net. And sometimes it was our players being hesitant to shoot at the right moment and looking for the perfect shot, which doesn't really happen. You kind of just, if you watch the other teams, they shoot from any and everywhere. And, they just expect if I shoot 100 times, one of these balls are going to get the net. And my team is not like that. They're like, let me get 3 perfect shots. And they never come, so we never shoot, and we never get the ball in the net.
It's kind of like one of those things where they say it in baseball, just put the ball in play and make the defense make a play. And so if you take a shot, you force the defense to either the center back to get in front of it or the keeper to make a save, and sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Exactly.
So I don't know why I just thought about that, but
no,
it's
but
kind of a similar deal.
Yeah, you're precisely right. And I told the guys that the other day because in terms of putting the ball into the box, crossing, I think I mentioned this before. They said, we don't cross because no one's there. And I said, doesn't matter. Force the defense to deal with the cross properly. Go back to the ETBU game. That player had no one there either. And only our player was there, and he put it in our own net. So he forced our players to deal with it. We didn't deal with it, and they earned a goal because of it. And that's the mentality we have to get moving forward.
All right, you mentioned Nathan had an outstanding game on Saturday. His final match at LC, and I kind of alluded to it a little bit last week because he wasn't quite there yet. But on Thursday, in Thursday's match, hopefully you saw the tweets and everything. But Nathan Gautreaux broke the American Southwest Conference record for career saves. He is now at 380 something. The record was 373. He passed that on Thursday, added a few more to his total on Saturday. So, and you talked about him last week, just what he's meant to this program and keeping the games closer than maybe they should have been and all that sort of stuff. But for him to get that, it's kind of a weird deal because it's an awesome thing, but it also means that you faced a lot of shots in 4 years. But for him to get 380 saves is just incredible, and I know you're super happy and proud for him.
I really am. I'm extremely happy for him. And although it is a weird record to have, I think it's one that he can actually be proud of. Although he faced a lot of shots, I can say he made a lot of saves. A lot of saves. We didn't have many matches just running out of hand double digits and things of that nature. So he did very well to keep a lot of games down. Even last season, I know there was a lot of matches that we played and we finished 2-0, 1-0, 2-0, and it was largely due to Nathan, games that could have easily been 6-7-0, but Nathan was able to help us out. Even games that might have finished 6-7-0 were games that probably would have, with another keeper, been a double-digit game. So I think Nathan did very well. He should be very proud. And I mean, as a goalkeeper, it's not really on you how many shots you have to save. Sometimes yes, maybe, but for the large part, it's the 10 players in front of you and how they're playing. And not to say that, I think if he would have had this team for 3 years, he would have never broken that record. But obviously last year we only had 11 men, so there's only so much you could do.
Right. Yeah. And I talked to him yesterday. He said similar things. If this team, like you said, would have been around for the past 3 years, he wouldn't even been close.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of how it works, and we're very proud of him. And he'll probably be in the record books for a while. I would suspect. Yeah. So that's a cool thing. All right, Claudy, let's move into the off-season program. Like we talked about, the guys have kind of started working on their own, which they'll have to do until the springtime comes around, where you can get them back out on the field. So, what's the plan for you now going forward as you kind of get ready for that spring and what the guys are doing?
Well, for me, I'm going to have exit interviews, and that's where I'll ask guys, who intends to return, and that way I can be a little bit more specific in my recruiting.
Right.
I expect all of the guys to return, so I kind of have a general idea of where we need to be strengthened. So right now, that's what I'm thinking of, my general areas where I would like to add some strength. Probably need another backup keeper, a couple more defenders, a couple more strikers, somebody who's going to score a little bit more. But otherwise, if I start hearing people are leaving or people telling me they're leaving, then I know that I have to go get some more numbers in those areas as well. Other than that, just trying to get the guys. For guys, you don't really have to tell them to maybe work out, but they love to play the game. Yeah. I already know they have a pickup game scheduled for this Thursday, on the field. So I don't have to really push them to play soccer. They love the game. I probably have to push them to make sure that they're going to class instead of playing soccer. Right. So, but for me right now, it's just recruiting. The next 2 months and a half is very big for a lot of showcases. I'll probably be going almost every weekend, just recruiting and trying to see if we can bring in some more quality to just help this team get to the next level.
Right. So certainly plans to, if you can keep like the group of freshmen and guys that you brought in, and you could see the difference. I know I can. If you watched any of the matches, you can see the difference from last year to this year, just the way the team works together. And if they can stay together, kind of like similar to the women's team as well, a lot of freshmen there can continue to progress. We might be looking at something pretty special over the next couple of years.
Yeah, and I think a time like this, the spring, although it's only a short 5-week span, I think it benefits us a lot because in the season you don't get to slow things down too much. You're going from one game to the next game to the next game, and you only have about 2-3 days in between games, so you don't get the chance to really slow down and go over the nuances of your formation, of your tactics sometimes. So I think spring gives us a chance where we got 5 weeks and there's no games. Well, probably one game at the end, but we don't really have, matches regularly, so we could slow down. There could be a lot of questions asked. There could be a lot of questions answered, and just kind of give them in detail where everyone should be at every single moment to kind of get us fine-tuned. And I think that's the difference between our team and all the teams we faced. All the teams we faced had a team returning, and we pretty much had a new team that had to try to learn how to play together in 2 weeks. And then half of them were ineligible because of extra paperwork for a week and a half. So it kind of just, from the beginning, put us in a tough spot, and I think spring will be very, very beneficial for us, getting to slow things down and kind of explain things a little bit more detailed.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, there you have it. Another season in the books, and certainly excited about what is to come potentially for this program. You can follow them on Twitter and Facebook and everything as well. Instagram, LC_MSOC on Twitter. If you want to check them out and stay up to date on what's going on with Louisiana College men's soccer through the off season, through the spring, and into 2018. So it'll be a fun time for sure. Claudy, as always, pleasure talking to you each and every week. Thanks for Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. We hope you guys have enjoyed the season and looking forward to what is to come here at LC. I'm Brad Welburn for Coach St. Louis. We will see you next time.